It is Monday. We're catching up on the week's happenings. The president is en route to the ATL. That's Atlanta, Georgia. And here to speak more about this is a man who knows Atlanta, Georgia more than most people we know. The champ himself, Gabriel Muthuma, Deputy Government Spokesperson. Good to see you, brother.
Thank you, bro.
I'm disappointed you're not in Atlanta right now.
Well, you never know. I may as well be heading there probably shortly. You don't know. You don't know.
You just never know.
You just never know. You know, many people don't know that Atlanta, you have a very huge population.
And Kenyan community, right?
Yes, huge population in Atlanta. Same way with Boston and Baltimore. Yeah, you have Minnesota also, Minneapolis. You know,
you've left out Texas.
Texas.
You're right.
Texas. But those people you've just mentioned, that you've just done, most of them are in Minneapolis, Minnesota, those areas. The Twin Cities, St. Paul, around those areas. Yeah.
So we're looking at how many people in Atlanta?
You know, but it's a big population.
Okay.
I don't know.
What about Kenyans in the U.S.? Is it like 1 million? Is it 1.5 million?
It's been counted to be around that figure.
Yeah.
It's been counted. There are so many guys.
It's a lot.
And remember, there are so many people who went way back when.
Yes.
In the 80s,
the people without the papers, so they are under the radar also.
Yeah, then you look at
their kids
as well.
and their kids' kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's 2-3 generations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine, remember during the airlift, as a matter of fact, look at what we are discussing this morning. The 44th, was he not Kenyan born?
Yeah, his dad.
Yeah,
his dad used to hang out right here on Coinage Street.
Yes.
Well, what did you call it?
On Coinage Street.
You know, I saw a picture, Nick, the other day, of Obama when he came to visit the sister back in the day, and he was hanging around Kariakoo.
Yeah,
it was so funny, and I'm like, you know, the guys that he was hanging out with are still around, and many actually can remember vividly. They can remember how he was hanging out with them, how down to earth he was.
Back
life,
then,
bro, life,
know.
They say, is what you make of it.
You never know.
Yeah.
Because those guys, all they have is the original copy of the picture that was shared with the newspaper.
Which was
Obama alikuwa hapa mtu wangu. Nipatie mkate ndakupa next week.
Stories za Jaba.
Oh boy, tulipoaga naye hapa mazi kwa Izabe. Izabe alikuja tulipigaga mandukulu hapa lakini.
Michelle kuna mnamitanga Shell akiwa hapa.
But Jeff, that is life.
That's
that
life.
Is life.
You
that
never
is
know,
life.
huh?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Just like Ricky G's under siege, huh? You never know.
Who said Ricky G's under siege, man? Jeff, stop. Fake news. Stop it. Stop it.
Are you serious?
Jeff. No, stop it.
Are we making this stuff up?
No, we're not. Yeah, of course you guys are making
Why is your voice, your pitch gone slightly high?
No, I'm saying you guys are making these things
It was the Nyeri governor himself, Mutahi Kahiga, who said,
well, those are politicians.
Kamani Baya.
Those are politicians.
So there's nothing happening.
As far as I know.
It's all good?
As far as I know, it's all good. You saw him yesterday escorting his boss. Was he not there?
Oh,
he was at the airport.
He'd have to.
What do you mean he have to? He has a responsibility.
But escorting the boss is not a big thing. I mean, Bab also escorted Yoweri the previous day.
This is the beauty of our constitution, you know. When the president leaves, then, you know.
You are such a spokesperson, you know that? You're just...
Well, what do you mean I'm just a spokesperson?
You're a typical spokesperson.
This is it.
You're defending your people.
This is it. But I think good things are coming from Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, the Taylor Perry store. It's an entire creative industry that they are going to pursue, and woe and behold, we are really praying that some great and amazing things come out of the interactions with Taylor Perry and crew, because when you look at the grand scheme of things, Jeff, it's starting now to dawn on so many people that Kenyans really, you know, are into this space. They understand the space, and all they need is a certain level of push to bring this creativity that we have to the world. We've had the likes of Lupita Nyong'o, you know, and I think we can have many repeaters.
And Eddie Gadegi.
Yeah,
don't forget.
There you go.
Listen, and then DC is a state visit, right? I mean, that's the official one.
DC is a state
that's
visit.
That's like 21 gun salute, the whole shebang.
Yeah. That's the mother of all. They all, and I think we had that entire schedule which was put out yesterday. I don't know whether you guys saw it.
No.
It's so, Jeff, man. Where do you live, buddy?
Kiambu.
Where do you live?
Leo umesema ni Kiambu na Saile mgeni hayuko ni Kitizuru. Okay.
So really we're talking about the strategic partnership, which establishes a structure for continued interstate. And here, though, much of what they'll deal with will be the economic prosperity, trade and investment, defense cooperation.
Yeah, you don't have to give us the whole...
No, I'm just giving you. People want to know democracy, governance, and civilian security. That is very important, Jeff.
We're going to get to that.
Multilateral and regional issues and health cooperation. That is something serious. But the state visit is the hallmark.
It's the big thing.
It's the hallmark of this. I mean, he's since Kibaki.
Yeah.
Nearly 20 years. You have now.
Oh, Uhuru didn't get a state visit.
No, he didn't get a state visit. Yeah, he went to the
several times
to DC, but that wasn't a state visit. And then after the state visit, it's a whole shebang where you'll have the black tie dinner and what have you, and it's majestic.
Will Biden be awake for that, or
dude?
Ama, his doctor said, I think this week is the right time to schedule. He might be on point.
What's that? Now you started talking like your friend.
The other day someone said, and it's someone that campaigned and people believed in him, and said, the reason we want to implement tax on bread is to decrease diabetes. And you want to raise your hand and like, Nani,
please. We
cannot downplay the importance of why, Jeff, honestly, why those taxes must be raised. That's why I said we must have a serious conversation to move forward. We know very well, like the president said, and he has repeated himself so many times, he will not govern a broke country or preside over a broke country. We cannot be a nation that borrows at every turn. No government whatsoever has ever succeeded using that equation. We cannot, a begging bowl, Jeff, a begging bowl, Nick, is no way to any success.
Yeah,
so we have the questions that
neither is taxation.
No.
You cannot tax a nation into prosperity.
And I agree, but look at where our taxes are.
Don't compare.
No.
Don't compare.
Sometimes we have to compare.
No.
We have to compare because the first thing we use, Jeff, and I'll tell you, we use key national times and global indicators. If you are telling me of country XYZ, how they prospered and got to where they are, that's why we do benchmarking, Jeff. That's why in your career, you go out and look at the best practices and you come and implement them. That is how we progress.
Yeah, but
so we have to go there. No, seriously, Jeff.
Do you see our taxes at work here? We don't see our taxes at work.
Now, if we were talking about that, that's a good conversation. If we were saying we are being taxed, but we are not seeing it.
We're not seeing
no. There is change. And then the other thing we're expecting immediate gratification. It doesn't work like that, Jeff.
There's some things that you can see immediately.
For instance, yeah, exactly. Look at where we were just a year ago. And this is a very good example I'm going to give you. Look at where we were in Matters Passport. We had a backlog of nearly 1.4 million. This is a department, Jeff, that had been left out in so many things. Yet, it is a document that many Kenyans covet. It is a department that had been, for the longest, receiving very little financial support.
They couldn't find a printer.
Do you know how old those printers were, Jeff?
Is it a contract between the guy who supplies or...
No.
Some guy.
First of all, let me tell you, you had serious pending bills stemming out in 3 years. Nearly 400 million shillings. It was a seriously underfunded department.
And now?
Now, things have really changed.
So if I apply for a passport today, how long? Plus minus?
They're talking about 7 days. No, I'm telling you. We have cut. Listen. Yes, thank you. We have cut. Forget this the new printers that came. We have cut that backlog.
To 7 days?
No, the backlog, first of all, the backlog is gone.
It's gone, okay.
Now we are talking about 7 days. We are going to move, and they say, this is what they say. The printers, the two printers, which are used 1,000 passports, they can do 1,000 passports every 8 hours. The production will exceed demand. Daily demand is between 3,500 to 4,000. passports. That's the daily demand.
Right.
New printers will do 1,000
Every 8
an
hours.
hour. A thousand passport every 8 hours.
Correct.
1,000 every 8 hours.
Yep.
Now, so you take, for instance, if the demand will rise to 5,000, that's what we are looking. So within a day or within a week, we will have beaten that demand.
Kwani, these things are printing 24 hours.
That's what machines do, Jeff.
Come on.
That is what machines do.
Come on.
That's what machines do.
Is the printing been decentralized? Like, do you have to just come here or you can do it?
Now, that is the other thing. With time, I think it will head there.
How much time?
With time, it will go there. Because what
2027?
now, you can apply your passport. You can apply your passport.
If you're in Wajir.
Yes. Yeah. And the State Department, what they are going to do, something else that came into play, they used to give all their money to Treasury. Yeah, just like what, yeah. So, and this was the issue with the underfunding. Because when you give your money, Jeff, do you know what happens? You have to chase it again to use. Now, a brilliant idea happened. And that's why I told you, you really need serious people who understand the sophisticates of our time to be able to pursue with excellence these things. Listen to this one, Nick. For the State Department generates up to 20 billion every year in fees. We are talking about passports, work permits, resident permits. Now, the 5 billion, they will be allowed to hold back 5 billion, which will enable the State Department invest in more equipment, infrastructure, staffing to boost performance and in return generate more revenue. So these are the regional offices. The regional offices, Mombasa, Embu, Kisumu, Kericho, Kisii, Nakuru, Eldoret, Garissa, will be boosted to bring services closer to the people. Applicants will not be required to travel to Nairobi. So you go take, all your things are done, all your fingerprints, the maneno zote zinaishi hapo. The information arrives in Nairobi. A few days, 7 days later, boom, your passport is in your regional office. Now, why is this important, Jeff? We've been talking about exporting labor. And this is where things are going. I had somebody the other day telling me, oh, why don't we fix this country so that people don't go out? And I'm like, man, that is lazy thinking. Jeff, you've been in Dubai. How many Americans are in Dubai?
Hey, thousands.
Thank you. Don't they have a superior economy back in the US? They do.
But you know, Americans in Dubai usually doing high-end jobs, eh?
You always see those menial jobs.
But it's a
But
menial
I can
job.
tell you, in Saudi Arabia today, Jeff, they tell you how many engineers
Come on.
are in the petroleum industry that are Kenyans.
But why
telling
don't we
you,
have? Why shouldn't we just keep them for ourselves?
Where are they?
They are so many. No, they are so many. You see, sometimes we look at it like most of the guys who are at Tallow. Yeah, these are people who have serious experiences that's of global relevance. They are needed, they are required. You have so many accountants in the African South, so many who are Kenyan, or Kenyans rather. This is a trade that they've perfected very well. So we have so many Kenyans, brilliant Kenyans, out there doing great and big things. The only problem we seem to be doing, Nick, sometimes, and it's a disservice to our nation, is that most of the time we look at these menus. Ni ile tunasemaga hatubagui kazi. Wera ni wera. Kazi ni kazi.
Yes.
At the end of the day, what matters, Nick, is what you put on the table.
What happens is whenever anyone is leaving the country, may it be a student or an adult who's going to further their education or get a better job experience there, the embassy is in touch with them, and the country incentivizes you. You get to experience there. When now you're good enough and you're very, very marketable, then you come back home and build us. We can't have engineers out there. Even the guy who did the stop sign for DC was a guy I knew here in Nairobi. Why don't we have those guys come back and we develop ourselves?
Did you ever think that your kid would be at home going through schooling
without a laptop?
With a laptop or with a phone, with such devices. If COVID taught us something, is to be imaginative, is to create, is to have imagination at the highest level.
I think you're imagining too much, Gabriel. Too much.
No. Why don't our kids? Why don't our kids go to school with laptops?
I have asked you a question. I've asked you a question. They were at home. Your kids were studying at home, and they were having school as if they were in the classroom. They were seeing their fellow students on the screen. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Imagination.
That was for private schools. Let's talk about that. There's no school where kids walk barefoot. None of them have internet.
Of course.
And those are the masses.
Of course.
Especially post-flood now. Post-flood.
And by the way,
there's a lot of kids who aren't in school.
That is true. And that's why this is where, I told you, this is where we are heading. And trust you me, we may not see it, but I can guarantee you 5 years from now, Jeff, things will be so different. We'll be coming to this studio and talking about the very same thing. Jeff, do you remember 5 years ago? Same thing we were discussing like 10 years ago.
You keep saying this, safari.
Watakuwa na laptop. Wacha ile niliwaambia 2013. Now this is new and improved.
We now have so many digital, if you will, digital villages. You're hearing of sprouting Wi-Fi hotspots in this school, in this school.
How come you don't highlight this, Gabriel? How come we haven't heard of this? Where is this happening?
What do you mean?
Where?
It's in broad daylight.
Where is it happening?
It's happening all over. Just go to the ICT website. In fact, let me do this. I'll hook you up with the CS for ICT. Yeah? Owalo. I'll have him. We set it right now. I'll ask him. I'll convince him. Okay. I'll talk to him and tell him, hey, Bwana Waziri, go see Jeff and Nick. Yeah. Tell them about these digital villages and these digital
we haven't
hubs.
Heard of.
There are so many.
They're probably underwater right now.
No,
they're probably flooded.
No. You actually have markets where people are now operating on Wi-Fi. I am telling you, Jeff. You see, you can't believe it. This is the beauty about progressing. When you have serious people doing serious things, where uko hapa tu Nairobi, mashinani inainuka. I'm telling you, if we get it, if we continue getting it right, yeah, pale magavana wale watu wako mashinani wanachapa magavana kiasi, wana ensure there's accountability at the county level. Yeah. These people are actually held into account. They are able to do what they promised mwananchi and what have you. They are able to build this, great things that the national government is talking about. We are going to change this country. And that's why I really like it when the president has really insisted, and he continues to push because of his vision, because of the better. You just saw the MTP force. If you look at all that documentation, Jeff, it's not something that we are just going to roll and file and put in that Kadak store. We have every intention to implement everything that is contained in those documents.
Part of his U.S. trip is, you saw the headlines in the Standard, Haiti was sending 1,000 police officers. It's been approved. 200 already on the way. And you've defied a court order on top of that. You as government. Come on, man. Come on.
We have a bigger calling. There's a bigger calling, Nick. Contrary to what people think, we are signatories of many international charters. Yeah, that brings us to a level of accountability that we cannot just fold our hands na tuseme kuna hii huku sijui huyu amesema hatuendi. You see, our politics has been so poisoned that we discuss things, Jeff, so meagerly. Yet the things we are discussing hold a lot of international weight.
There's nothing you're saying right now.
I am saying
You're saying nothing.
I am saying something.
Say something about these Haiti troops. So is it fair that we're sending non-French patois speaking people to a place?
You see, the other thing, Jeff,
a terrain they are unfamiliar with.
Jeff,
10,000 miles away.
This thing about
ruled
Haiti,
by gangsters.
Seriously politicized because you think, you yourself actually think it's only the Kenyan troops that are going. It's a multi-national approach.
Let me Google how many other countries.
Google.
I know there's Burundi. Google. That's the only other one I know.
Google. Okay. No. Google. Wait. Listen how many countries he will mention. Nearly the Caribbeans. How many countries from the Caribbeans are
Come on, man.
No. How many?
We don't speak French, man.
How many times have our soldiers, joined the United Nations peacekeepers to go to countries that don't speak English? Jeff, we cannot use in this century. I could have understood this Many years ago, years back, this could have been understood, but not today, Jeff.
These are not soldiers. These are police officers.
And whatever the case, you're telling me, Jeff, people have really not sat down and thought about it?
No.
Something? Yes, they have thought
It's the
about
money.
it.
Why don't you just tell us it's the money?
No.
It's the money.
No.
It's the millions and millions of dollars we stand.
$300 million, really, Jeff? Really? That's what it has come down to? This conversation, saving lives, this is what it has come down to. $300 million.
Of all the countries in the world, Benin and Bahamas have better military than the Japans of this world.
When we were in problems, we've gone through some issues ourselves. We've had our friends and our allies who've been ready to send immediate help. Nick, just look at the other day what happened. This issue of flooding, and it may continue this coming week. You saw the warning, the flood alerts. Last week, we received food from India. Lots of tonnage, food and non-food items, from tents, to medicine, you name it. The UAE were at hand to assist. What does that tell you, Jeff? Most of the time, it's not about money. It's about helping. It's about saving lives.
What's your point?
Don't look at Haiti, the mission in Haiti, about money, Jeff. It's not about money. It's about saving lives.
It's about losing lives as well. Because
the reason why I'm saying
our lives.
No, the reason why I'm saying this, Jeff, about the money, because I've had so many people throw that thing, money. Oh, we are going there because of money. We are going there because of the money. No, that's not the truth. That's not the truth.
What if the body bags start piling up? What are you going to say? Are you going to tell us, oh, it's about helping people?
Jeff, losing life
is part of taking care of lives.
Of course. Loss of life is expected. But you cannot just, it's demeaning when somebody says, oh, sisi tunaenda kuokoa maisha huko ndivyo tupoteze maisha. You cannot look at things that way.
Let them send their own people down there.
It's a global village.
No, there's going to be lots of Maitis in Haiti.
Excuse me, rhyme, eh?
No.
Calligraph, we got a collab coming up.
No.
Takwana Maiti, Pale Haiti. Let's go to Maimayu. Have we found everyone?
Okay, so
and what else is being done to help?
So a total of 289 lives, and I think
that's the total.
That number may be slightly high a little bit.
Yeah, it's gone up. I think it was 290 something yesterday.
Yeah, it's gone up a little bit, with about 411 people affected, give or take 58,000, around 58,000 households, which has been displaced. So you have the activities that you're talking about, the hotspots and the areas prone to mudsliding have been identified. And that's what you saw the weatherman talking about, the advisory warning that was given. You saw the incidents in the ones that you're talking about, Maimahio. And you saw, it was quite an unfortunate incident, Jeff. Losing all those people at one go. That was, it reminds us of, do you remember the dam that was it in Kericho? Solida. Yeah.
But have they been accounted for, the victims in Baimayo?
Yes, most of them have been. Let me use that word. Let me use that term.
Most
of them have been.
Not all.
But the exercise is still ongoing. In fact, we are heading there today. Yeah, we are heading there today to continue offering assistance, to continue giving the aid that is required. The county commissioners, and let me tell you, everybody in Gao, everybody has come together. We are handling this thing with the importance and the urgency that it deserves.
Without you having stations where you can say this is a disaster preparedness station where we say, here, let's move to this place because ABCD will happen. That's only with someone who leaves the house.
It is a conversation that we need to talk about for the longest. And people must understand now that we need to have other better options. For instance, you had the president, when he visited Madare, he spoke about the idea of housing. Yeah? And I told him, guys, This cannot be so. We cannot continue doing things the way they were done 20 years ago, Jeff. And you, the media, this is your work now. This is where you need to be helping us. So, by the way, guys, yes, serikali inafanya hivi, lakini pia nyinyi, you have a social responsibility. You cannot immediately, maji, when water subsides, Nick, kidogo hivi wamerudi, because somebody will say, oh, I don't have a place, I don't, but in the reality of it, huyo mtu ametoka mahali. You know,
what are those houses called?
Affordable housing.
Yeah. Which ones are earmarked for this project?
No, the president, as a matter of fact, the president talked about the 22,000 houses that are coming, and he said, you know, there's a database that is being compiled, and I believe that when they are compiling that database, I think some of those people will be taken care of. And here you're talking even the people within the riparian land. Yeah, there are some who will be absorbed. But what we shouldn't want, if it's not done well, do you know what will happen?
Dirt in the skies.
Yeah, our colloquial thinking will be, kwa sababu wao mpatiwa manyumba na sisi wacha tuende hapo, turudi hapo. Tutapatiwa. You see what we are trying to run away from. So we must establish a system that is taking care of our population.
So what's going to happen to the riparian lands? Like you see that whole...
No, you are to Songi, let me just say it here. Mchana. 30 meters. Hiyo hatusongi tena. It's done and dusted.
SBS, man. That'll never work.
No, I'm telling you.
All the people already built some riparian land. What's going to happen to them?
Yes,
It'll never work.
The Crystal Rivers Mall is one example. And then, there are people get affected downstream. Whose people have changed things upstream.
Exactly. We've seen malls worth billions of shillings.
It's one mall.
Hata sio hiyo peke yake. Kuna vitu nyingi zimefanyika. Which one? The Nakumat, the ile
that one.
Yes.
The
Kitambo, which Mbagathi way.
Right there opposite Timo.
Na unasahau ile ingine ya kule. Where was it?
Taj Mall.
As we talk about a serious effect to our environment, Jeff, we must deal with these problems. Hii maneno ya kusema go jamaa loaded sijui what you go build kwa riparian land, hiyo ni lazima ishe. The 30 meters, we are very serious about it.
But that's corruption. That's corruption.
So what are we doing about corruption? We've got 1 minute.
Na nema pia juu yake.
As you are watching, corruption, ile vita inaenda kudiliwa to corruption, utashangaa. Look at Nyayo House, very good example. 17 senior officers kwa passport. They never thought to catch up with them. Out. Let me tell you, when you want to make serious change, and I told you, you need serious people.